much does the AMG GTS cost? How much money do I have in mods on my AMG GTS? I get asked this question a lot, guys, so I decided today I'll make a video and let you know how much I paid for my AMG GTS and how much I paid to get it to where it's at today, which is stage 2, some aero, a wrap, some wheels done, and whatnot. Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog, welcome to Fresh Roots Exotic Cars. I am Fresh Roots. Today we're going to be talking about the AMG GTS, my 2016 AMG. I've had it for about a year now. So I decided to make a little video and answer some questions about what I get asked a lot. How much does it cost? How much is insurance? All of these types of questions. So let's just jump right into it, guys. What did I pay for my AMG GTS? I paid a premium. I'll tell you that right now. I paid a premium for this particular car. It was a one-owner vehicle. I knew the dealership that it was being sold at. It was a good car. It was owned by some lady in Beverly Hills, of all places. She didn't even tint the windows. It had no mods at all. It was serviced at the dealership in Encino, which, if you don't know, a lot of money out there in Encino. And it was a good car. So it was a one-owner vehicle. They had ordered this car brand new, spec'd it out, and it was a nice spec. I like that they had the carbon fiber trim over here in matte carbon. I like the piano black over here. Obviously this is an aftermarket steering wheel, but I liked the red interior as well. So a lot of these interiors are different, guys. So you're not going to get the black trim, not going to get the red seats on all of them. Some of them even have this ugly tan color. Just not, I don't want to say it's ugly, but it just doesn't work for me for this particular car. It's more of like a really luxury type of color. It just didn't work for me on that. So I was particularly looking for this color car inside and out. On the outside of this car, I know right now it's acid green. But the original color is a diamond white metallic. I was looking for a diamond white metallic, and I was also looking for a car with these wheels. So I was willing to pay the premium, and I paid 82 grand for this car, guys. So I think it was like 73 grand, but I live in California, so taxes, fees, registration, all of that good stuff. I was out the door 82K for this car flat. So yeah, I paid a premium, I believe. Not really. I mean, 73, right? If that was from like a private seller and I paid 73 out the door, that would have been fantastic, but had to pay those extra fees, right? So 82 does sound like a lot, but not for the car that I got. Again, and it also had 26,000 miles when I purchased the car. So it had been driven, not a lot, but it also, you know, wasn't a very extremely low mileage car, which those can just be a lot of money, and they're not really shaken down yet. They can have some issues. This car also had the recalls, the recalls that it needed to have done on it already with the drivetrain. That was a big one. And it had that done. So it was just a well-sorted vehicle, and I was willing to pay that price for it. All right, guys, so aside from people asking how much does the car cost, and obviously 82K, that is not including any of the mods that I have on the car, but the next big one that I get asked a lot is how much is insurance on that thing, right? So how much does the insurance cost? Now, before I had this car, this is interesting. I know it was a different time, but before I had this car, I had a McLaren MP4 12C. The insurance on that car was $200 flat. 200 bucks a month, low deductible. I think it was $100 deductible actually. So it was just a great policy that I had on that car, and I even used it on a windshield. It was a $6,000 windshield. They paid for it right out of the gate for a $100 deductible, right? So that was State Farm that did that for me. So shout out to them. But on this AMG, I'm actually paying a little bit more. I'm paying about $220. I think it's $222 and some change that I am paying per month for my AMG GTS. Obviously, that's full coverage. It's a pretty low deductible as well. I believe it's 100 bucks, might be 500 bucks. No, I believe it is actually $100 deductible. So yeah, 220 bucks is what I pay for insurance on my AMG GTS. All right, guys, so the next one is gonna be maintenance, right? So people ask, what's the maintenance on that thing? How much does an oil change cost, right? So if you own a Mercedes or any high performance car for that matter, you'll know that typically they're on a staggered setup, an A and a B, and they have certain services that are required at 30,000 miles or 40,000 miles, things that are recommended and whatnot. Same thing with Mercedes. They have an A service and a B service. The B service is a little bit more expensive. The A service is a little bit more affordable. From a dealership, you can pay anywhere from 700 bucks for that B service and up. It could be a little bit less, give or take, depending on the dealership that you're going to, and of course the model car that you're taking. But we are talking about this GTS. I've been quoted $700 or so for the B service at a dealership. I pay about half of that independent going to Upland Mercedes. So shout out to them for taking care of me. A service can be about 300 and 400 bucks from a dealership. Again, about half of that from an independent. So that's on my AMG GTS. And guys, surprisingly, this is what I've learned as I've gotten older. I have an 08 Mercedes E350. I've spent more money on maintenance on that vehicle in the past year, just things breaking and whatnot, because it's an old, higher mileage car, than with this one. If you stay on top of those maintenance schedules and you get things repaired when they need to be, you won't really have anything too crazy pop up with the AMG. Now, the craziest thing that I've heard of is a transmission that needed to be replaced, but my guys over at Upland were able to find one. I think it was like 12 grand, labor included, to get a used transmission into a buddy of mine that has a GTS's car and kind of replace and get him back on the road. So that could be double or triple the cost in a McLaren or something. So I think you get a lot of value in the AMG GTS because it's just a high performance car, and the maintenance isn't going to completely kill you. Now, it's not cheap, right? It's not a Nissan Sentra or something. You're not going to get a $20 oil change, but relatively speaking, that servicing is every 5,000 miles is what I do. Mercedes recommends to do the services A and B at every 10,000 miles. Of course, I do spirited driving, so I'm doing that at about 5,000 miles, guys. So every 5,000 miles, I'll go in for the A or the B service and kind of go ahead and get that done. So it's really not a lot, guys. That's the servicing on this car. Up next, we're going to talk about any repairs that I've had to do on this car in the 1 year ownership. And I've put quite a lot of miles on the car, about 10,000 miles on the car in the 1 year. So let's see what maintenance repairs that I've had to do on this car. All right, guys, so up next is the maintenance on this thing. Repairs. Has anything broken on the car that you have needed to do? And the answer is, aside from the wear and tear items, which are the coil packs and the spark plugs, spark plugs and coil packs was about 2 grand. So it's not cheap. The coils are kind of hard to get to on this particular car, so that's definitely something that you want to look out for. But I've had to do that, but then again, that's not something breaking. To be honest with you, nothing has broken on this car. The only check engine light that I had on this car was I needed to get the ignition coils done. And I'm on a stage 2 tune from WiseTech, so this car is pushing over 600 horsepower, and I've had nothing quote unquote break, knock on carbon fiber, but I've had nothing break on this car, guys. So it's just been a matter of staying up to date on that maintenance, on your services, making sure you get the right eyes on the car at the right time, and just kind of getting the right people to work on your car from the jump, and you'll have a low running cost for the car, guys. All right, guys, up next, we're going to talk about the mods that I have on the car. I'll tell you right now, I'm in the car about 100 grand, give or take, right? So I have the stage 2 setup from WiseTech. You're going to want to get the mid pipes and the down pipes from them. You're going to want to couple that with the tune. The problem, not the problem, but the thing that it gets expensive with it is the installation on down pipes on this car can be a pricey thing. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, and it takes a long time to do, so that can add up really quickly, but nonetheless, it's a stage 2 setup from WiseTech, and what that is going to be is their down pipes, their mid pipes, along with their tune. I also have the blow-off valves from WiseTech, and then I also have cold air intakes that were handcrafted. Ooh, look at that. GTR, guys, I'm going to be making a video about Nissan tonight. Actually, something really bad is happening with Nissan. They might be going out of business in the next 1 year, so stay tuned for that video. That's actually going to be coming up tonight. But look at that GTR. It looks good. It looks fast. One thing that I've learned over my years being in the car game is you never race a GTR, you never race a Viper. They're really fast. That thing looks really cool. I'm not really a GTR guy, but I know that the people that are GTR guys absolutely love them, and so that's really cool right there, guys. But anyways, back to it. We have the blow-off valves from WiseTech. We got the cold air intakes. We have their stage 2 setup as well, and that's pretty much what we have under the hood. Not much more under the hood, guys. That's the performance that I have on this vehicle. Now we have some aero as well. We have a Pactex wing on the car. We also have some side skirts from RW Carbon, and we have a massive diffuser, carbon fiber diffuser, also from RW Carbon that I love. We're sitting low on the KW race springs. These are height adjustable, so I can adjust them up and down, but we are sitting on the KWs. Those are like I think they're like 1,200 bucks or so, another 700 or 800 bucks to get those installed. So that's a couple grand mod right there. Also, we got that wrap, guys. If you know, wraps can be about 5 grand or so to get it done right. We got the wrap, and I also have these wheels powder coated in gloss black, guys. So, and I absolutely love it. Then the most recent mod is this steering wheel. The steering wheel is super sick. Paid about 1,500 bucks for it, another couple hundred bucks to get it installed, but it's got all the bells and whistles, got the shift lights and things like that. We're almost done with mods with this car. Thinking about going stage 3, or I will go stage 3 with this car at 5,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribing, go ahead and subscribe so you can stay tuned for that. When I hit 5,000 subscribers, we'll go stage 3. We'll upgrade the turbos, even though I don't need it. I really don't need it. This car rips as is, but we will upgrade the turbos. We'll get a meth kit in here and just get this car to stage 3 at 5,000 subscribers, guys. Other than that, let's see. What do we have on the outside of the car? I think that's it. I mean, that covers it. That covers all of the mods on the AMG GTS, guys. I mean, it's pretty a straightforward car. It's a pretty straightforward build, as this sun absolutely tears up my eyes. It's a pretty straightforward build, guys, and it's gone together flawlessly. And I've had no real hiccups. I've had no issues with it. Unlike all my other builds that I've done when I was younger. Let's get a nice little pull in for you. Yeah, when I was younger, guys, woo, yeah, guys, so when I was younger, you know, I built a Corvette when it was a 1976 C3 Corvette, and that car just had, the build process had so many issues. I wish I just kept it as like a resto mod, but when I started to try to get into building that car, it just had so many problems. It was always in the shop, it never worked. I ended up selling that car actually to West Coast Customs, believe it or not, when it had an LS in it. They were supposed to do finish up my interior because the last shop that had it went bankrupt with my car in their garage. Yeah, and so I ended up moving the car over to West Coast Customs. They ended up just purchasing the car because it ended up being a disaster trying to work with them, to be honest with you. And so yeah, that's kind of what gave me the seed money to purchase my McLaren and really get into the car game, get into the car world. And now I got this AMG GTS, and we're just gonna enjoy it, guys. We're gonna drop daily content, car news content, mods, adventures, insights, reviews, you name it. Gonna test drive some cool cars and just have some fun. So that'll wrap up today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's get some nice downshifts before we leave. Be sure to subscribe if you aren't already doing so, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Much love.